Unpredictability is now expected. Dynasties have toppled and periods of dominance have come to their close. Last year and a half in Saturday Night Thunder competition, we've had 3 unique winners. None going back-to-back in that time. Of course, Grand National Series, after a month and a half's hiatus, has returned back on FTN. Back to a familiar place and a fan favorite venue at that. Welcome to Fontana, California. You're watching SNT on FTN, and this is the virtual Auto Club Speedway. 2-mile Speedway circuit has been, and of course, it's known well of our venues in size and scope, but additionally, here it's like no other track. Auto Club Speedway, Fontana, California, will bring to you the first race of the season here on FTN Broadcasting. Welcome back to the channel. I'll be your host for tonight's broadcast. I'm David Troitz, commentating and producing. It's wonderful to return to what has been the most competitive period of SNT competition in league history. Over the last summer stretch we've had, this month and a half that we've taken away from the main series, great racing, new drivers making names for themselves, and some of them are with us tonight looking to race once again. We've got a total of now 32 drivers registered, and qualifying is on the move, so let's look downstairs. Just what's going on. 2 minutes on the clock. Matthew White holds the position with Richard Cheery now in second and Cameron Chandler in third place. Just now under halfway time in our session. Lap times have been set, and now the back half of the field. First in one of on, he was the championship leader the entire season, except for our finale. The 96 coming up short what mattered most, and the championship margin was just about as slim as ever. The difference between those two, Matthew Weeks and James Thurston, was 4 points. Thurston ended up being our smashing SNT title. Now they're set to go at it again, still looking for that maiden victory in a Thurston has seen notable success. Ryan Murphy, other fields, he's gotten away from the IORA Cup Series, of come to its close, and now he's options, but Saturday Night Thunder not climbed fully yet. Second place in the chip, and by such a bitter defeat, Thurston's one of those guys who's going to be looking out here and last season he was able to come away with 5 wins, the most of it ever, 11 top 5s and 50 top 10. All things considered, historic season performance metric department. Half that good of a driver, he's bound to be a championship contender again. Thurston goes second by 5 1/1000ths. Barrel rolls up the track. Car will stick the landing, and the time will stand as well. Cole Wilson was one of our better drivers last season, 10th in the championship standings with 8 top 10s and 3 top 5s, but he will not have time enough to get it up there in the final moments of qualifying. Last season, Matthew White came away, of course, with victory. 4 top 5s and 10 top 10s. Some fantastic results, and it looks like he's back on top. Matthew captures the pole position for qualifying tonight with a quick time, a 41.35. White has P1, and he's going to be ahead of Thurston, Cheery, and Chandler. The drivers immediately behind him. Matthew getting on track now in the WeatherTech Chevrolet. So White is going to take some time, self-accustomed and a track, although it's not going to change. Dramatic weather tonight means what you. That is indeed what you will get. There's not going to be a difference from first lap to the final lap. The only exception will be rubber, of course. Rubber laid down, and that will give way to some slightly warmer track temperatures, I believe, as the day goes on. Otherwise, the weather is as static as it gets. So, it's a big field and a big track. We should have the pavement, we should have the space to hold it all together, but now it's all about the especially talented field. Back so many veterans, and we add a few new guys in the mix. Definitely worth the watch. This is the most exciting part, introduce as they roll. So let's get to learning your starting grid from top to bottom. We've already known about Matthew White for a couple of seasons now, coming away with a maiden victory last season, and now he's got himself a pole position to start the season again. It'll be a 41.35 one time, good enough for pole by 5 1,000ths of a second. He'll get it over James Thurston, buys P2, and then you'll have immediately after Richard Cherry third, Cameron Chandler will be fourth, and it'll be Aiden Donahue rounding out the top 5. Jordan Coots is sixth with Nate Tigner seventh. Richard Bunkley is an 8th as it's the 33 car going at it. That is going to be a new driver, Jacob Clarino, and Connor Asbell, who wraps up the top 10 in the number 72. And on out, you'll have 11th place. So Marrow is back in the number 71 after last season finding himself in the playoff race. We'll have Kenneth Burrell starting 12th. Cody Erdman, CJ Erdman in number 94, starting 13th. And the 18th car is Andrew Stacy, new driver in the 24 this season. Don Meeks, 15th. Alexander Malderis goes 16th. Matthew Fast on 17th. 78 is Greg Holt. 18th. Number 69 tonight is Wesley Carter with Curtis Stanford then in 20th. 21st place is going to be the number 60, Joseph Miller. 91 is Asa Bierce, and it'll be Mike Hill immediately thereafter. Mike tonight starts in 23rd. Chase Schaefer is the first driver without a time in 24th. Then it's going to be pacing Bryce Benton, Cole Wilson, 79. That's going to be another driver we've just learned of. Ashton Miller. And have the 09 to Jamie McKinney, Michael Dykes, and your last two drivers on the starting grid, Layson Furness and Tyler Seaver. 32 drivers and 16 complete rows make up your starting lineup from Fontana, California. Welcome back to Saturday Night Thunder. At the top of the board with position number 1, it's driver number 2. Leading man, Matthew White, with the pole from Auto Club. Matthew still getting his reps in right now, preparing himself for what is to come. Like so far, gone pretty well for him. Practice, he driver. Interesting, all the top 5 drivers in practice qualified in the top 5, except they did so in reverse order. Aiden Donahue was the fastest driver in practice. He qualified then 5th. Chandler, second fastest, qualified in 4th. Third quickest, Rich Perry, qualified 3rd. 4th quickest, Thurston, qualified 2nd. You see him on your screen right now. And again, Matthew White, mission on himself with the pole to start the season. Vinny Tigner not on the circuit right now, so we can't take a look at him yet. A lot of strong aren't taking warm-up laps. Matthew's gotten himself 6 so far in this 5-minute stint. Prepared to take on the task of bringing the field. Always nerve-wracking when you're the driver who does it for the first time in a season. Carter Casey was the man who did it last season around. Time's up now to prepare. Mountain Valley 200, a 100-lap main event coming right at you. And it's going to be this man in the WeatherTech Camaro who brings us to speed. Red flag, empty the track, get him ready. This is the big one. Auto Club Speedway is perhaps our most infamous circuit. I would say the style track is the most type of track, only because of the amount of times we've been to this venue and sister venue in Michigan, and of course what it means as a field. Championship venue, had many of our drivers go out and win races. You can win here, practically win. That rings especially true. Vinny Tigner in his collected a win here, and that's what catapulted him championship success. It was his one and only win on Octane, but it followed, got him to first ever title. Michigan, round of 5, so when we get down to the end of the year, if you're strong here, take those notes, write them down, and keep them. Something a lot more when we get down to the most much time in Michigan. This is just the warm-up. Looking overhead, gets ready. Thurston, Matthew White are together one. 23 drivers take time. Going back to Mike Hill, he's a little bit further behind than a lot of these guys in front of him, of course. Took those times, and he still around stiff competition. Chase Schaefer is lined up next to him. Chase making his first stop. Chase went 2 last time around. He's a very interesting case. Didn't run full time, and yet he won 2 races. So watch out for Schaefer. Tonight he's in that number 1 Monster Times machine. Mustang is a roll as looking for his consecutive win in starts. Had the highest win per multiple race. Part-time drivers he's been. Back of the field tonight with some Thurston and Alexander Balderas. Balderas at this track, season 5 in the IORA Cup Series. Won the race here against Aaron Schugel. Others who are circuits qualify might not indicate it. Back for running it long. Track no longer person. Auto Club's well known. Its size, its stature, and its warm weather. Where side of the country and the ambient temp is coming in at a mild 80 degrees. 19%. But if you take a look, that track temp already warm. 105 degrees. Drivers haven't gotten up to pace. Perhaps 100 by the end. Not these drivers really late. Is that with how ready tires will be slick, even if humidity is about 30 history now. California Speedway, it is started dry, well-defined, old pavement. It's not easy. Drivers cool track. That's what's giving it the fans and driving population. Richard Cherry qualifies 3rd after perhaps the most off-season any driver. Cherry was able to championship for SNT Summer Series, getting away at the title victory. Aloff, he proved podium can. That was the very first. All that out of Cherry. Not that's the case once again as we get back to business. We're coming to 1 lap to green now. Cherry on the bottom. With him, Matthew White. Double file the whole way round. Taking a look at the back of the field. Your very last competitors with us. Layson Furnace, 30th. So it looks like we might just have 2 that don't start. Rest of the pack is still there. $200 miles. No better opportunity to start the season than without, of course, a victory. Everyone comes in winless. They're now looking to take it. Matthew White is on the inside. James Thurston is right beside him. A former champion versus a first-time race winner last season. Well, let's get back to work to end 2025. Saturday Night Thunder is back in business, and we are green from the Auto Club Speedway. It's going to be an easy lead for Matthew White into one. Watch as 30-plus drivers barrel through the opening sector. James Thurston leads the first lap of the season. He's going to break out through the second sector, take the race lead. It's all his now as we get back to work. Matthew White running second. Cameron Chandler going to be just behind for third place now. And here we go again. Jordan Coots is a multi-time champion, but for the first time in his SNT career, he has had to spend multiple seasons not as a title winner. Last season, he voluntarily opted out of the playoffs after clinching 5th seed due to time constraints. The season beforehand, he was just barely beat by Vinny Tigner for the championship. So, all things considered, Jordan Coots hasn't lost his way, but he hasn't had the time to put in the full effort. He still looked about as strong as he has in previous years, but now it's all about whether or not he can beat the hat trick. 2023 and early 2024, he looked poised to do it, but now it looks like he's at a bit of a standstill. He hasn't plateaued in skill. He's still with the best of them, but it also becomes the question of whether or not he can commit to 15 race weeks, which is the amount that we have from here to the end of the calendar year. We'll be racing into December with this calendar that we've got for the rest of the schedule. It's going to go long, and there's going to be some breaks in between, so it's not going to be a nonstop haul, but it will be long-term. I think that's something that every driver has to look out for. The playoff picture begins early this fall and brings us all the way to the 20th of December, and then that will end the racing year. Playoffs begin in November, and then the regular season comes to close on the 18th of October. Drivers are then given 2 weeks off, and it's back on the grind again. Gino Marrow to the high side. He's got with him Connor Asbell and Kenneth Carell. Guys are battling for the final spots in the top 10. Andrew Stacy in the number 18 also there. Andrew right now in his first ever race, and of the rookies, he looks running the best of anyone. Got a few of those rookies, though, right behind him. You're going to look at C.J. Erdman. Erdman has 11th. John Meeks has 14th. Greg Holds has 15th place. So just because these guys are brand new doesn't mean that they have no speed. As a matter of fact, they're putting some pressure on veterans and former winners at this track. Alexander Balderas, for one. He's got to look behind him, and he might have to look back again because look at Chase Schaefer. Chase dialing it into the inside. The Monster Designs Ford Mustang looking for 3 consecutive wins. Again, that's the big story for Chase Schaefer, who last year only raced in 2 events. Season finale at Las Vegas and Charlotte. He won both of them, able to take away critical victories for our championship competitors. Schaefer qualified today in 24th. He's already up into the 11th position. So he's going for a little bit of that last to first taste as 31 drivers took to the line. Jamie McKinney, the only that did not. Here's Wesley Carter running 31st for the time being, away from the pack. Last season, Cameron Chandler and James Thurston were statistically the best drivers in the field. Matter of fact, they both put up practically identical stat lines. James Thurston had perhaps the best statistical season ever with 5 wins, 11 top 5s, and 15 top 10s. Cameron Chandler put together the best ever rookie season outright. He was able to come away with 11 top 5s and 15 top 10s and had a stretch of 10 consecutive top 10s, the most of anyone in the field that year. Cameron's rookie season, best on record. The only Achilles heel was that he wasn't able to get to victory lane. If he did, he very well could have been a championship-winning rookie. He was only divided from himself in the title by 9 points last year. Thurston only outfinished him by 5. Reference, that's a point for every win Thurston had. That's not a big margin when you consider the fact that Chandler was so consistent and so close. And you begin to wonder, when will that maiden victory arrive? Of course, if it arrives this season, that would be anticipated, but you got to put the work in, because against Thurston, there's no way to tell if you got the stuff against him or if he's got an extra trick up his sleeve. To the inside, there's Jordan Cooper. 8 is going to be Matthew White racing now with Bunkley and Gene Arrow. Watch behind for Connor Asbell at the same time. Asbell's getting himself into the mix. Now, it's a little bit of a gaggle at the back half of the top 10. Caution's out, back of the field. We've got trouble. Let's take a look now, see what happened. Already down a pit road, Tyler Sevier, and the yellow flag's out. So we're going to take a full lap replay, and let's find out what happened. 10 laps in, first caution of the season, and this is how it goes down. Tyler, close, very close to the number 79, and that's going to be Ashton Miller. So as the pair going to 3 and 4, Tyler gets away, and he comes up the circuit coming out of 4. Contact ahead of him, 1, 2, 3. That's going to be a multi-car incident. Jacob Clarino, and looks like just getting away from it, going to be Asa Bierce and Bryce Benton. Tyler getting the worst as he slams down to the inside of Clarino, and both come to pit road rapidly. Yellow flag is out, 11 laps in. Right on board with Tyler and see what that was all about. Going to take a look before drivers head to pit road. Unfortunately, he was committed to the inside on the first sector, and then through 3 and 4, committed himself to the outside, in a wrong place to be on that final moment. Pushing up the circuit, letting the car take that exit, and slam together. The only saving grace is that Tyler didn't slam the middle piece, rip up the car even further. Back half of the field come in all together. Alexander Balderas stays out, but you'll see those that do come in. Some notables. Jake Schaefer opting to stay out. Then you got the leader of them all, Jordan Kuntz. So Jordan leads the first run into pit road on the day. Interesting. Here's how it's going to go down. We have 3 extra sets of tires available. That with 100 laps on the table, you could go and take this race in quarters. So it's a little early. It's about 10-15 laps early. Jordan Kuntz is going to come out. He comes out now with the number 82. Ever so slightly beat by Donahue. That comes out. So, a bit of a split. Jordan Kuntz, Donahue and company decide to sacrifice track position. On down. Top 15 opting to stay together. Everyone else stays out, of course. Jordan Kuntz and company go in. Getting ready to go with Donahue now, leading those on new tire. 12 laps. That's 24 racing miles. That is a big difference. I think that's going to be enough to show very early. We'll figure out whether or not the lap times are really deteriorating for your leading drivers, but I wouldn't be surprised to say that for the guys who are a little bit further behind on pace, maybe a Michael Deitcher, an Azabirus, or a Joseph Miller, that the difference is going to be very clear, very fast. For, let's say, for instance, James Thurston anyway, looking at his lap times, you were already starting to see a downward turn. The last lap he ran before that caution was a 42.118. Fastest time on the racetrack of 41.386. So you're seeing about 3/4 of a second taken at the extremes, and consistently and reliably you're seeing about a half second lost every single time. Now you're going to begin to witness the difference between guys with new rubber and old rubber fast. We'll restart for the first time tonight at lap 14. James Thurston will lead out Vinny Tigner and Asher Bunkley. On the outside, Cameron Chandler has control with Matthew White, your pole sitter, and Kenneth Gorell immediately following. Chase Schaefer up to a race-high 7th. Alexander Balderas up to 8th. Matthew Fastnaut 9th. For the first time, he's in the top 10 today. Let's get to work now. It's going to be the iRacing official pace car ducking low. James Thurston and Cameron Chandler for your first restart of the night. Bring them up to speed. Green flags out. Shuffle outside for 2. No worries for the guys up front. Three wide just behind, and it's going to be a scatter as drivers mix out among one another. Jordan Kuntz, Aiden Donahue in particular are looking for that exit very quick. Donahue on the inside, I believe he has it already. If you see here, he's about a car length and a half ahead of Jordan Kuntz, and he's extending that gap as he looks to get through. Jordan Kuntz, of course, is going to follow him, and as he follows suit, he's going to tighten up that gap, keep himself moving. End goal for Kuntz by the end of this cycle to be the race leader, whether that means he's going to take the lead under green, or if, of course, there's going to be a long enough run for another pit stop cycle. A little bit dicey behind there, and you can see 3 wide, Payson Lindsay close there to Benton. Contact! Benton involved, as is Payson Lindsay up the track. The caution is out. Second of the day. A quick second caution brings the field to another standstill. Take a look. Payson Lindsay nearly 4 wide at that moment. And it just looks like a little bit of contact made all the difference. Aiden Donahue was ahead and boxed up as you saw Ashton Miller trying to get by. Donahue gets collected and is involved with the number 20. So quickly, they end up spinning. That's going to be a rookie on the racetrack. Greg Holes slides down. Up the track goes Payson Lindsay. Into the 9. Yellow's out. Most drivers avoid it. Lucky that they do, as the iRacing official pace car is back on the track. James Thurston, Cameron Chandler in 3rd place. Vinny Tigner. They're all out on the track right now. Do they decide to head to pit road? I think it's highly unlikely they do so. Looks like the call on the field will be effectively unanimous. Stay out. Connor Asbell, Aiden Donahue, and Miller coming in. Looks like this time around it's going to be the top off fuel. 17 laps out of 100. We'll head back green at about lap number 19. James Thurston is still in control, and so far he has been the leading man entirety of this race. 16 laps completed. He's led them all. We're on our 17th. Ready to lead that too. Thurston in control. Closest man to him, Cameron Chandler. Chandler qualified 4th. So far he's in 2nd. Eyes on that victory. This very first tonight. Summer Series, he was able to come away with 2 wins, which showed that he has the stuff. Now the question becomes, what can he do to elevate, bring that to the real? Last year, multiple podiums. Not yet has he found one way to get the victory. This season, it's most likely going to happen. Coming to worse, you might see a different side of Cameron Chandler. Let's see if he can even cut the gap to Thurston. So far, James has checked out each time by. Schaefer up to a race-high 5th for him. He qualified 24. 19 places, 2 points. 20, if not more, next time we go green. Jordan Kuntz made it up 4 places. Run brief, but start moving up. Going to see what happens now for Jordan, of course, anticipating to see him up there fighting for the win tonight. And he's going to do things a little bit differently. Slightly fresher, young rubber in this early stint. Will that make the biggest of differences? Yeah, it depends. If we have another 2 cautions, I would say. If we have 2 cautions here until lap 35, I think he's going to lose the advantage. If we have 1 caution until lap 30, he's going to clearly make up, I believe, more than 5 spots, and he'll be firmly in the top 5. Going under green to that point, it's going to help immensely. You'll have Kuntz on the bottom, and he'll be in line following Thurston with Vinny Tigner running in the 2nd row. Matthew White has not yet been able to reclaim his pole position. However, he is still in the top 4 and is only a row away from doing so. Green flag set to get him going. Barney the flagman waves it, and James Thurston gets the jump. It's a car length off the line. Green flags out. You'll have Cameron Chandler 2nd, Vinny Tigner 3rd, Matthew White 4th, and Chase Schaefer 5th as Cole Wilson goes from 27th to 6th, and he's looking for more. Wilson, 3 wide once, looking to make it 3 wide twice. Cole is shining early, as he did last season at Daytona. And he's already up to the head of the game. Wilson has come out like a bottle rocket, and all of a sudden, he's the leading driver on new tire, and he is fast. Taking a look aboard, the number 22 of Wilson. Last season, he led the most laps of any rookie at our opening race in Daytona, and it looks like now he's channeling that same energy, getting it toe-to-toe with the 8 of Cameron Chandler. Side by side for 2nd, and it's as easy as it gets for Cole Wilson. He'll take it up to P2, and look at the numbers right now when it comes to stint time. Cole Wilson on an 8-lap run, 12 laps fresher than everyone else, and he's got the edge over everyone around him. Wilson is going to look for the race lead for the first time tonight. Coming across the line, not quick enough to take the lap, but he was only 6/1000ths of a second behind. And so now, Wilson is your new race leader. Cole Wilson getting up to the head of the pack, and so he's got himself no competition. freshest rubber. Next driver to come after him will be Jordan Kuntz. Jordan, one to watch each and every week, hitting his driver in SNT competition, and his success has been above all else. Really nobody else to compare him to, with multiple championships under his belt, over a dozen victories, and now he finds himself in the position where, of course, he's getting set to make his way back. 22 laps in out of 100. Thurston rides in second, and you've now got Gino Marrow sliding to the inside. Here comes Marrow. They'll split Thurston 3. He'll fall back on both positions. Gino Marrow taking it to third place. Gino, he debuted at this track 2 seasons ago, and the Chimera Creative team was part-time that season. And here now, you'll see the 71 getting up to the podium. 23 laps in out of 100. It's going to be the number 18 of Andrew Stacy, also looking for something here. 14th up to 5th. Now, Andrew drops down to the bottom. Can't quite get it going, and he's going to take it with a completely different approach into turns 3 and 4. Reason why? Caution. Yellow on the field again, and we've got trouble. Looking to the back of the pack now. Mike Hill getting away, as Zabir is as well. Matthew White appears to be involved in this incident. Take a look. Matthew, your pole sitter, seeing trouble. Here's what happened. Three wide, and it was a bubble battle. Up into the wall, nowhere to go, and Matthew White gets turned. Slide down at the bottom of the racetrack, and if you look from his perspective, there really was nowhere else he could have gone. He was squeezed. You're up against the wall like that, you unfortunately just have to take it. Don Meeks, the rookie, also involved. And just like that, we got trouble. John right up into the wall. 24 laps in out of 100. Hit road at the quarterway point of this one. Cole Wilson leads. Down to the bottom is the 96 of James Thurston. And so it looks like he's going to decide to come in maybe a little bit earlier than he anticipated. Every driver has enough fuel in the tank tonight to go up to 50 laps. But I think with this pit stop being early, it's going to be a two-stop race at minimum. More tires and fuel, the recipe. This is going to promote Wilson, Kuntz, Marrow, and the number 18. That is Andrew Stacy up into 4th place. On the way out, Thurston. Immediately following him, he'll have a few familiar faces, of course. Cameron Chandler, Vinny Tigner, and Chase Schaefer. These are competitors who I think have a fair shot at the race win, especially now for Schaefer. He's on cycle with his fellow leading guys, so he doesn't have to worry about coming from way back in the field. He's 13th, a lot better than 24th. We'll restart at lap number 27. Wilson, Marrow, 1, 2, 3. Down the line. 9/10 of a second back. Marrow here. 11th up to 3rd. He's had a great day so far, but the best of all has to be Cole Wilson. Wilson took the field by storm. Double 3 wide. Made his move from outside of the top 5, going from about 7th to 2nd in just a lap. One lap to green. Here we go again. O'Maro, Andrew Stacy, Connor Asbell, Aiden Donahue, the new midsection of the top 10. Then you'll have Ashton Miller, Richard Cherry, and Layson Furness. Rookies all battling. So far, the rookie of the day has been the number 18 of Andrew Stacy. Stacy has been strong to this point. Third caution of the day, we're looking for a restart. Cole Wilson had his breakout race last year at this track, although at the end of the race, he was not the highest finishing rookie, nor was Cameron Chandler. Both of them didn't really reap the fruits of their labor that night, but they ended up becoming much better drivers consistently, and that's where it went to show they've got the stuff. Stacy so far has been around the top 10. It's the first shot he's had up in the front of the field. The stakes are a little bit higher, racing behind a former champ and beside multiple playoff competitors. Here we go, lap 27, and Cole Wilson hits the gas. Oh, we got contact behind. It's big, it's bad. Yellow flags out again. And you've got multiple on the grass, 3 parked by pit road. Miller, Greg Holes, and Bryce Benton. Take a look at this. Wow, dicey. Gonna rewind the feed because this was right before our restart and show you what just caused it. Up the track, that's gonna be Curtis Stanford. And you see him right here, the number 26. Things get bad immediately after. Stanford comes down the circuit, hits Clarino, Michael Deitch, then down to the inside, and then you got that second incident. John Meeks comes past the number 20, and that's a quick move by Greg Holes. This is the dicey part. Tyler Sevier slides around. Then you got the number 16, who perhaps has the worst of it, Joseph Miller. Goodness! Look at Greg Holes getting airtime. Bryce Benton got a pretty good point of view on that one. Take a look on board. Stalled. Horrible hits for everyone involved for a fourth caution of the day. And very rarely do we see moments like that. Parking by pit road's exit. Caution's out. "29 laps in out of 100. Cole Wilson, Gino Marrow, Jordan Kuntz, and Andrew Stacy. Connor Asbell, the final driver, he's here in the top 5. Richard Cherry is 8th, James Thurston 9th, Layson Furness 30th to 10th has now gained 20 places. So a third of the way through. Dicey. Majority of the leading guys have followed here. We got off the lead lap. Greg Holes and IORA Curtis Stanford. Bryce Benton is most likely going to fall off the lead lap as Tyler Sevier gets on the way. Thurston is up to 9th. Remember, fell outside of the top 10 after his Jay Schaefer, 24th to 13th, not able to make an inch up there, but I don't think anyone was really able to make real gains in that situation. Practically impossible to do so. One to green. We'll restart at lap number 30. Wilson at the helm. He'll have behind him the 99 of Jordan Kuntz. Connor Asbell down to the low. O'Mara, Andrew Stacy. Then have behind Aiden Donahue. First 3 rows on the outside. Firm matchup both ways around. Catching up to the field, it'll be Matthew White. Matthew is still on the lead lap, collecting himself after that damage. Looks like he's in a little bit better shape. Should be able to continue on. He'll be beside the number 24. And so he'll have to work from the back of the field on up. That's Asa Pierce. Wilson. Arrow. 18 of Andrew Stacy all come together, and let's see who makes the best of it. Jordan Kuntz is trying to reclaim the throne and lead a lap for the first time this year. Here we go again. Green flags out. Back to business goes Cole Wilson. They'll fan out behind him, but the field gets through the front all in one piece. Three wide goes Andrew Stacy, and you'll see right now he is where he needs to be. He's been in the top 5 in that Tony car, number 18, Chevy Camaro. Brand new driver, rookie man, and he's now got a veteran right beside him, and he's got a veteran on his backside as well. Imagine it's your first race and you've got Jordan Kuntz and James Thurston putting the pressure on. That's his situation with Aiden Donahue further down to the bottom. Donahue goes low. He's looking now for 4th place. Can't quite get there. You'll have the 99 of Jordan Kuntz in the middle, and then you've got that Andrew Stacy car up top. Maybe going to the tippy top is, ooh, James Thurston. How about that? Thurston looked. Couldn't quite get the bigger picture to work out. Gonna stay up high there. Let them all keep rolling through. Here comes Chase Schaefer. Schaefer would like to enter the top 10, and he would like to do it on his own accord. He's now behind the 82 of Donahue and looking to take that draft and work things out. .33 laps in out of 100. Cole Wilson, Farrell, Connor Asbell. 1, 2, 3. Wilson is still leading, but watch behind there. 4 wide for 3rd. Thurston surges up top. That is exactly the move he needed to make to break out of the cycle. And now he's going to be 3 wide again. Chase Schaefer lunges deeper. He'll make the middle groove his. 3 wide for the lead. Thurston top. Schaefer middle, Wilson on the bottom. At the line, it'll be Thurston's, but I got a feeling now Chase Schaefer would like to take it back. He would drop down low. New race leader, Schaefer, who is eyeing his 3rd consecutive race win and back-to-back wins in back-to-back races. He won the last season finale, and he's won his last 2 starts. Thurston already swipes it back from him. Watch what happens now for Cole Wilson, 27th up to 3rd. The man has made up 24 places, but it looks like now the fire might be running out, or at least he might have to replenish it by dropping back. Defense is hard when you got Aiden Donahue behind you, but it looks like Wilson has adapted well, at least to start. Can he keep doing so? That's the hard part. When you lose that lead, it's hard to keep the car in good spirits. And we talk about that, and it's not any sort of fake signs to it. It really is. When the dirty air is what you're dealing with and your car is getting a little bit slower, then it amplifies the problem, which means it only gets worse and worse. So for Wilson, not having that advantage in the clean track means he might lose more position just because of that fact. We'll see if he can defend on Donahue any better, but now he's dropped 2 places and it could be many a more. Jordan Kuntz. Right alongside him, Matthew Fastnot. Matthew, competitor now for the better part of a year and a half for Karloff Deitsch Racing. They've sent multiple to the racetrack tonight. And it looks like right now, while team owner, or co-owner, shall we say, Henry Karloff isn't out there, you got Michael Deitsch in the 7th, currently running in 26. Looking at Alexander Balderas, he's gotten by the rookie and Andrew Stacy. Shaky laps for Stacy. Not exactly what he wanted. Fall back outside of the top 10. But again, look at that stint data, because that tells the bigger picture. Stacy, his run has been 24 laps. And now on to his 25th, one of the longest runs of any individual driver, which means his tires are some of the oldest in the field. So his concerns just come down to equipment, and he knows that when he's fast, he can pull it together up there. Thurston leads over Schaefer again. Then you'll have Asher Bunkley running 3rd. Donahue is now going to find himself in 5th. Cameron Chandler got by. "37 laps in. Most drivers coming in at least one time today. Means it's going to be a 2-stop race from here. No matter what, drivers have to go down to pit road in the second half of this race. The pit window will most likely open in the late 60s and early 70s, meaning lap number 68 to about lap number 73. But you might see drivers hold it out until the 80s if they want to get it done. So, the pit stop cycle you're looking at right now is just in its infant stages. Even if you went down to pit road 20 laps ago, you still got more than half of your run if you optimize everything together. Looking at Vinny Tigner, who came alive earlier this week in the Integrity Ignite Series, and I'll tell you what a race he had in that league. That is a very competitive field. Some drivers there make a crossover here. Alec Daffin, a former champion in the Ignite Series, he ran SNT full-time. Vinny Tigner is now going full-time for the better part of a season and a half, and Vinny came away with a 2nd-place finish at Texas this past week. Qualified 3rd, and he was in the running until the very end. Wasn't able to get the win, but put together his best overall race. It was a fantastic performance, and it looks like right now, on one of his stronger tracks, he's running solidly. 7th place as it stands. 39 out of 100. Watch now as James Thurston holds fort. He got himself a pretty clear half-second lead over Schaefer. Asher Bunkley and Donahue behind. Still nothing has come of it. Jay Erdman has retired. That's another one out of the car for the night, leaving us with 26 on the lead lap as it stands, 40 laps in out of 100. Matthew White first down to 17th thanks to the early troubles. Greg Holes has also retired officially, although to this point he's already 11 laps down and in 30th. Joseph Miller, 21st up to 19th. I'm surprised to see Miller is still on the lead lap and that he hasn't entirely lost the pack. But again, every driver getting one faster pair, so that doesn't mean that the race is over as one goes down a pit road. Watch this. It's going to be to the inside, the 18 of Andrew Stacy. And so a very early call in. It looks like Stacy is going to call it quits on his stint. And he was already, by that point, running outside of the top 20. No choice now, he feels, but to get replenished, give himself a little bit more speed to get back out there. He's only going to have one extra set from here on. See what he does with 60 laps to go. It's not the safest of calls. He'll back out. He will retire for the night. So Stacy is out, and he will finish today in 27th. Don Meeks working in 17th here, trying to bridge the gap between the mid-pack, the upper mid-pack as he gets there in Ashton Miller. A little bit of rubbing a little bit further behind, and you'll see here Miller, Wesley Carter are still going at it. Toe-to-toe amongst each other. Michael Deitsch now going side by side with Colorino, and Mike Hill is onlooking. Deitsch to the inside. Laps in out of 100. Place driver is now looking to take at least one more spot in this equation. You know, Marrow, 11th to 19th right here. going to be on a down period for this part of the race, and I think the next pit stop cycle sure to rejuvenate him. Same goes for the 17th place man, Jordan Kuntz. Kuntz has had a race-leading pace throughout the night, and just because he's not even close right now doesn't mean he's going to stay that way out of the job for the rest of this running. I think by the time we get that next pit stop cycle in, Jordan's going to make up at least 5 positions, maybe make up upwards of 10. It all comes down to how well he plays that final stretch. And Jordan Kuntz, historically speaking, is, I would say, the best driver in managing equipment when it needs to be saved. So I've got a very high level of confidence in Jordan from this point onward. I don't think his race is over. If anything, I think it's only just begun, and where he is right now, he will be nowhere near when it matters most. Race lead comes a calling. Jordan Kuntz is very rarely out of the picture in its hole. Vinny Tigner's gotten up to 4th and has passed Asher Bunkley, Aiden Donahue, and Payson Lindsay. Lindsay has also gotten out of trouble. Again, that one and only faster pair means some guys have gotten some early second chances. Lindsay making the most of his and getting back up to a competitive placement as he rushes across the stripe. James Thurston second up to 1st. Jay Schaefer 24th up to 2nd. The tale of 2 completely opposite races in terms of that structure. Either way, they're in a very similar position overall as we speak. Cameron Chandler 4th to 3rd. So he stayed about the same. He's gained 1 position. Of those drivers who qualified in the top 10, 7 of them are still there. The exceptions are currently Matthew White, Jordan Kuntz, and Jacob Clarino. Those are the drivers who have fallen out. In their place have come Asbel, Lindsay, and Schaefer. Payson Lindsay qualifying 25th, and Jay Schaefer qualifying 24th, so they came out of the very deep end of the field with nobody around them, and yet here they are. Pretty mellowed out at the head of the pack, which is good to see. Drivers getting into their rhythms. I think that's going to give us a great developed run by the end of this race. Richard Cherry right now, watching as Alexander Balderas lies behind. Balderas is running in 10th. And he's looking to swipe 1 more spot, make it the single digits for the 95 team. Comes to the inside, Richard Cherry. He stayed top 10 today. He's been a little bit quieter over the last 20 laps. He was making some noise early on, getting into that top 5 mix. Your 3rd place qualifier, though, has mellowed out and has still put together a strong early performance in the K1 Speed Chevrolet. To side, Alexander Balderas remains. Balderas, in a Red Auto Club in the past, perhaps one of the best specialty drivers at this circuit, just based on all that prior knowledge. Right now, knocking on the door for a spot. Wants 8th. We'll see if Richard Cherry lets him take it. Coming across the line, it's still going to be an advantage for Cherry, although it's not going to be a big one by any stretch of the imagination. Take a look behind the number 29 car and see just how close Alexander Balderas really is. Balderas has his back bumper glued to Richard Cherry. I don't think that's exaggeration. That's just the way it is. Although nothing has changed up in front, the mid-pack remains exciting. Take a look on the left side of your screen and we'll be focusing on the closest driver-to-driver gaps out of anyone. Aiden Donahue's got one that's getting real tight right now at Asher Bunkley. To the inside on Bunkley goes the 82. Donahue right now still looking to make a pass. Just trying to keep right to his inside. Bunkley has let it happen. Now the Bunkley car boxed to the outer portion. Alof Deitch Racing has been well put together. They had a strong team of up to 6 drivers last season. They're bringing together a majority of that field again. Right now, KDR just a little bit further back on this battle. The big teams, however, are not throughout the most of the top 10. Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsport won. Page is not in the race, nor is any of his official teammates. Donahue, just below here. Now he'll make the move. Just like that, Aiden gets up in a fifth. A little bit further behind, Alexander Balderas on Richard Cherry and Payson Lindsay. Lindsay has made it back. And now he's in the spot to get passed by Connor Asbell. One foul swoop takes it all away. Jordan Coots now up to 13th, and he is making up those spots. He's gotten up into the top 15. Now the top 10 might be in the conversation. Again, now 51 laps in. We are halfway down with halfway remaining. 50 laps to go. What happens now for the 57 of Kenneth Garrell? Watching. Last time by, scored in 13th. He's fallen one spot back, but if he gets by Matthew White, he could very easily enter the Baker's dozen once more. So far, hasn't happened. Garrell stays close. Asher Bunkley, 8th to 6th, dropping off the tail end of the 82 here. Rookie looking for a move. That'll be, of course, John Meeks. And joining his company is Cole Wilson. Right now, Meeks is the highest placed rookie of any driver, giving a little bit of a nudge there to Cole Wilson. And Wilson felt it. .49 laps to go. John Meeks is still going to be seeing right behind him Payson Lindsay. We'll see if that ends up being anything. Of course, Matthew White trying to get back into the top 10. Double file ahead. Let's see what happens. White has gotten most of that damage squared away, and a solid run is still very much in the cards as he looks low. Matthew chases it up the track. Has better off-corner acceleration there than Wilson. You might have seen a minor bobble out of him, but it's, for the most part, pretty even. That time by for Wilson, Cole ran a 43-second lap, 43.563, 43.55 for the Matthew White car. That's about 100 of a second faster. Minor differences. They add up as the race goes on, but right now, anyway, that's about as small as it gets. 47 laps to go. Ames Thurston leading by a second and a half over the rest of the field. Asher Bunkley now seeing the pressure from Richard Cherry. And with them, here comes Alexander Balderas. Balderas is looking to go as high as 6th. Let's see now if he can take it for P7. Balderas ducks to the low side. Gets one on Bunkley. Now sends it for Richard Cherry. Through 1 and 2, clear. Alexander Balderas for a 6-7 pass makes his way around and runs off the corner. Great move there for the 95 team, and of course, taking the prime role of getting down to the bottom, getting that decisive passing line, and making the most of it. He'll bring with him now 9th place Jordan Coots. When can you count Jordan Coots out? Answer is never. And that's always going to be the answer for what it's worth. I mean, the 99 team has proven time and again he is far from an underdog. And here comes Richard Cherry again with a crossover maneuver. He'll take it to the inside of Balderas and swap it back on him. Balderas up top. No dice just yet. It's still going to be relatively indecisive between these two. Now Jordan Coots is going to maybe take another spot back from him. And just as quick as Balderas got up into 6th, he might fall back out into 8th place. All the while, Asher Bunkley sees more competition from Connor Asbell. And Connor right now clear for the pass. This brings Bunkley out of the top 10. And you'll see there, 3 wide split because John Meeks, the rookie, enters the top 10 with that maneuver. He and Matthew White are directly side by side for 10th, and White will take it. Jordan Coots on Richard Cherry up next. So before the pit stop cycle even comes to a close, Jordan Coots would like to be in the top 5. And it looks like now that's a very realistic goal. He would only have to make up about 2 more seconds. And given the fact he's made up upwards of 3.5, I think now you can say yes, Coots has a fair shot. Jordan continues to watch and wait. Richard Cherry has given him all the reason in the world to do so. Side by side for Matthew White and Connor Asbell behind. 72 of Asbell looks to have a slight advantage. 43 laps to go. Rocketing off the corner. Matthew White has it made, and he gets off the stretch nice. 42 laps to go. Alexander Balderas here. Watches. Jordan Coots leaving Richard Cherry only to watch as well, as he'll take it down to the inner groove. And while not firmly to the inside, he'll take it lower, and being just lower is just enough. Another made move for Jordan Coots. Cameron Chandler side by side now with Chase Schaefer, and it looks like Schaefer gonna fall off the catbird seat. Chase tonight having more struggles in grabbing his 3rd consecutive win. And of course, Cameron Chandler, he is not going to be patient when it comes to getting there to winning. Victory lane is something that has defied him and deceived him many a time before. There is no reason to wait nor waste an opportunity. Vinny ducks inside. 41 laps to go. Here, Chase Schaefer now having to put both an offensive push on to Cameron Chandler and trying to keep the defense so he doesn't fall too far behind. Although he's not leading, he's got a fair bit of clean air thanks to just being ahead of most of the pack, and James Thurston being so far ahead himself, which that right now Schaefer has the full benefits of a leader when it comes to pace. If he falls out of that clean air, it's going to deflate his speed by a long shot. Pace in the Indy has decided to retire 19 laps down as it stands. 40 laps to go. 24th up to 3rd, Chase Schaefer is still made up 21 places, and that is the most of any driver now tonight. Cole Wilson has fallen off thanks to older rubber for the time being, and the Wilson team down a pit road. Cole is going to opt in with 39 laps remaining when he gets back at it. Cole comes in, as does Layson Furnace. Here comes Wilson as the leaders come across the stripe. It's going to be Wilson coming in first of all, and then the leaders right by. So, pit road is now open. Time to find out who goes in and when. Pit road signaled big. Jacob Clarino given the call, and the 33 team is deciding to drop through this time by. Clarino does so. Vinny Tigner side by side now. Chase Schaefer, Richard Cherry going to retire for the night. Take a look now at Jordan Coots. 1 lap down. The reason is he already went down for what will be his final stop on the night. New race leader in Thurston, of course. Comes to strategy anyway. Talking about the race leader. Get on the way, take that lap back, and he's ready to give him the business. He's the fastest driver 1 lap down right now, and he's got the most position to prove it. Ashton Miller, 31st up to 19th, gaining 12 on the day, just gone off of pit road. Chase Schaefer is still side by side with Vinny Tigner. Not an inch has been made between them, but Schaefer again gets the lunge into 3 and the advantage. O'Maro down low, driver on new tire, opts to go even further to the bottom to get around. Gino going to take it to the inside on the apron. Again, he's just looking to put himself back on the lead lap. That's what Jordan Kuntz is aiming for. Jordan right now on the backside of the 96. Thurston gives him no trouble, and so it's going to be another quick pass for the 99 of Kuntz. Jordan being back on the lead lap so quickly is a great signal for him. But remember, he's got younger rubber. James Thurston will have younger rubber later on. Thurston coming in later, he will replenish himself, give himself the better equipment to finish the race, and that is the advantage he needs to pull forth. Got any shot, he's got to make his way around. Gonna do so with newer tire. That's the undercut versus the overcut. The undercut is what's being called by Kuntz here, by going in earlier than most others. The overcut, stretching it long. .36 laps to go. John Meeks, 15th, and you got him up to 6th. He has been the rookie of the day so far since he's hung on. I think it's clear that he's got a shot at the top 10 in his very first start. 41 of Chase Schaefer now on the way. Notably, left side tire wear significantly more for Schaefer than it was for the right side. 41% remaining on the left, 73 on the right. So if there is to be a late race restart, a 2-tire option for left sides only might be the call for some of these leaders. Now the number 8 car gets Ed Cameron Chandler, Chase Schaefer. Schaefer cycles out nicely. Meanwhile, Jordan Kuntz comes down to pit road, and while Mike Pill is going to pass him by, Hill anyway, of course, see Kuntz still making his way through. Done it earlier than anyone else. Now he waits. Asher Bunkley on pit road now. Asher having a good night, getting up to as high as 5th previously. 92, getting revved up, looking for spot for that team. Asher gets on the way, and a strong performance so far, qualifying 8th, running 10th at the time of entrance. 34 laps to go. Vinny Tigner, champion, enters pit road for the final time tonight. Lightly misses his pit stall, but nothing too serious. Hear that Jordan Kuntz, leader on strategy. 34 remaining. He looks like he's going to have the best shot of all to be the winning man based on the call he's made to this point. Premier number 99 has rolled through just about everyone so far. The only worry he's going to have, I think, is going to be someone like James Thurston getting the better of him on a younger tire from here. Currently, Thurston is rather slow. Last time by ran a 43.511. His best lap in racing conditions, a 41.386. So he is running upwards of 2 seconds slower per lap. And of course, it's anticipated to see those slow but sure tire wear degradation increase lap after lap. All those laps will count to burning up your stuff, but for Thurston, he is losing several seconds each time by. I don't know if it's a good thing for him to stay out so long unless his intention is to push 100% when he gets back at it. It might just be. Cameron Chandler runs second still. Decided to stay out, and taking a look at those pit stints, you'll see who's still going and who's gone in. Jordan Kuntz, all those who have just gone to pit road, and you've got in consecutive order 6 holdouts up front, and it looks like Mike Hill opts in. Mike makes his way through 23rd up to 8th at the time of entry. So by that point, he had gained about 15, and Mike Hill is in. Mike is going to opt to go through. Now 1 lap down, and I think that's the highest spot he's running all night long to this point. So making some big gains before the entry. Meanwhile, look who comes in with them. It's going to be James Thurston. Thurston opts to come together with the field, of course. He'll decide as the caution flies to go to pit road. This is big. Yellow flag is out. Now, who was involved in this one? 69 laps in, the caution flies. This is a critical moment for everyone on the track. Looks like happens at the front half of the field, perhaps. Back straight looked to be just fine. Yellow flag is out. Matthew Fastnault was on pit road at the time of this. Just came in at that point. Kenneth Gorell coming by. We're still looking to see who could have been involved in this one. Looking behind the number 57, no dice. Yellow flag, however, is out. The call on the field, it's going to be yellow again. Taking a look overhead, waiting to see when the signal was given. It looks like this one is going to be a race changer. It's going to be a sprint from here effectively as the caution's out. Look toward the front straightaway and we'll give you a better view of what just happened. Waiting to get the official confirmation of who was involved. Drivers, mind you, were still leaving pit road at the time of the yellow flag. That might have just played a role. Looking to see, waiting to see. Caution is out. 30 laps to go as it stands. Looks like by this point, drivers slowing down. Yellow flag flies. From what we're seeing overhead, though, a safety yellow on the field, and can't confirm accurately the cause for concern. Yellow flag is out. Drivers were making it by as the yellow flag was sent. So here we wait again. Leader is now Chase Schaefer as Cameron Chandler comes down to pit road. Just about half of the field on the lead lap now. Not everyone getting a guaranteeable ride up. 29 laps to go. Schaefer taking total advantage and now leading again. Track position is pivotal all night long, and in a moment like this, he's able to take all of it. Jordan Kuntz staying there. Him now 10th overall. Take a look at that stint. Looks like you're going to see 4 drivers who opted to stay out, notably because at the time of the yellow flag, James Thurston was in pit road. He stays. He will ride up to 4th. Vinny Tigner, Cole Wilson, and decide to stay out. Schaefer, 9-lap run when we go green. It's an interesting call for him, and I would say slight risk, but he didn't put that many laps down under green with that tire. About 5 or so. And so I think by that token of logic anyway, he'll have enough to go and be competitive. But I think when you're going for the win, the freshest tire available, and that's where Cameron Chandler's advantage is very evident here. I think he might just be the favorite to go out there and win it just based on position and strategy right now. And then I would have to point back to, honestly, Jordan Kuntz. And I think that just is indicative of how he's been racing today. He was outside the top 15, and he's made his way up. We'll see if that's the case, of course. Kuntz to this point has been resilient as he always is and got up into the top 10 conversation and even the top 5 conversation without a pit stop from the mid-teens. Got himself top 10 position to go for it. I think it's a no-brainer. He will be up there and he'll give it a fair shot. Chase Schaefer, Cole Wilson, Vinny Tigner, James Thurston, 1, 2, 3, 4 as they come. 27 laps to go as we go green. Double file with Schaefer back in the mix. Both of your top 2 drivers qualified outside of the top 20. 24th for Schaefer and 27th for Cole Wilson. They're here and now, and they'll bring the field up to speed with Vinny Tigner already battling the number 41. James Thurston sets his sights up high, and very clearly he's got the speed and the grip and all that comes with it to battle for the podium instantaneously. He might have 2 laps older tire than Matthew White or Cameron Chandler, but he's got minimal wear on those laps, which puts him effectively in the exact same position as the drivers who just went down to pit road. And that is a double-edged sword, and it's one he can use well if he wants to win this race. Track position, he doesn't have to worry about making any passes, except for those who have older tire, and the rubber can be burnt, knowing there's little time ahead. He can use it all. Side by side, Vinny Tigner, James Thurston. On the outside is the 96. On the inside, the 12. Then, of course, Chase Schaefer in the number 24 car here. Of course, 24 on the grid. To make it this far up has been unbelievable. And he's on the verge, Schaefer, of what could be his 3rd consecutive race win in SNT. But with the equipment coming into play, the tires being so important, I don't know if he's got the edge, and Chase Schaefer right now sees that Thurston wants to take it right back. Whenever these two race each other, things get dicey, and dicey fast. Never do they spare an inch. And it could be another round of Thurston versus Schaefer, the same way we saw it last season and last year for that matter, both on Thursday and Saturday nights. 25 laps to go. Chandler, 3 wide for 3rd. Gets ahead of Tigner. Now ahead of Chandler is going to be Matthew White. Unbelievable to see that Matthew White has been on his resurgence and has put everything together to get in the top 5. 24 to go. Schaefer still making things happen here. Bending for 2nd. James Thurston has gotten away. Gotten a car length or 2. He's got the rubber, and he's got the distance. Take a look behind the number 96, and you'll see the Hornet's Nest, but it's clear skies for James Thurston. Huge spread, inside, outside. Schaefer there with Matthew White, and it's going to be a big tangle. Jordan Coots gets up. That's going to move Coots up to 3rd, a half second behind his leader, James Thurston. Gino Marrow gets down to the bottom. He's now below on Matthew White. Aiden Donahue, Vinny Tigner, and the 95 of Alexander Balderas all together as well. We're coming now to 22 laps to go. 22 remaining. We'd like to thank our friends at Whiplash SimCams for bringing you the angles for tonight's broadcast. There's no better place to go for any broadcaster to level up their visuals and any broadcast on iRacing than Whiplash. Visit their Discord and their social media platforms for free sample packages, any package. No licensing fee needed. $5 per tracker car. Once you buy it, it is yours. No strings attached. We're about to crank it up now from Fontana, California, the Auto Club Speedway, and get loud and proud here with James Thurston as our race leader. Welcome back to SNT to finish off 2025 strong. Oh, but we got a battle for the race lead here. We'll stay with it. It is tight. Outside goes Cameron Chandler, and he's looking for his maiden victory to start the year. Right on board with Thurston. Chandler's got to run. Cameron Chandler taking the race lead through turns 1 and 2. Already, it's going to be a 3-wide race down the back straightaway. Jordan Kuntz for a 2-for-1 pass. Buy one, get one free. He can't take both. Thurston instead surges on the middle line. He'll now have Cameron Chandler keeping him very honest up top. Trying to squeeze out the number 8, but he's got to look below because now Kuntz is there. And when Jordan Kuntz is in the mix, he does not quit. 19 laps remaining. It's 3 wide all around now from top to bottom. You can't miss these leaders. Chandler is going to fall just behind Jordan Kuntz and James Thurston. Opportunistic as they come, especially for Kuntz. Jordan was able to slide up in a top 2 battle and make it a 3-man race. And now he's the leader of that race, and he's watching those laps tick down, knowing he could win another season opener. And for Kuntz, and honestly for all 3 of these, they have something to race for. Jordan is looking to complete their hat trick and get that 3rd championship. Thurston wants his maiden title win. Cameron Chandler, after statistically the best ever rookie season in league history, now wants to get the job done, win his first. $18 to go. Aiden Donahue and Matthew White all rolling behind. Alexander Balderas working it out with Connor Asbell. Looks like Balderas now at the P6. 17 laps remaining. Cameron Chandler spreads off to the high side. Thurston is going to be now firmly second, but Aiden Donahue would like to get inside the podium himself. Watch what happens here. The 96 and the 99 together again. Jordan Kuntz and James Thurston have gone battling back and forth for the better part of a year and a half, and so quickly they found each other. Although Jordan, he ran from the top of this racing circuit to the bottom, position-wise anyway, he was as low as 21st. Leading again. Thurston led early on. Still there, but he's now got to defend Cameron Chandler. Take a look. Chandler slips to Aiden Donahue. Donahue up to 3rd, looking for a career best finish. $15 laps remaining. Jordan Kuntz now trying to hold it down to the very end. Quarter a second back. You'll see Thurston eyeing his next move. Cameron Chandler's out of the picture. Might just be the 96, giving it one last try. But here again, Matthew White, the podium is still calling him. It's not been an easy night for White, although he started up in first. He has not led a lap, hasn't let these leaders go. Alexander Balderas gets behind Gino Marrow again. Arrow here with Connor Asbell, the 71 to the 72. 7th, they have stayed tight to each other. $14 remaining. Looks like now Balderas is going to settle in comfortably for the top 10. Leads Donahue, 2nd and 3rd here. Now, it looks like Aiden's got a fair shot to go for that lead. Bakers doesn't do it. Donahue for a career best finish, while Jordan Kuntz looks to reclaim the throne. Here comes James Thurston surging in again. Cameron Chandler's been watching and waiting here, and even though Cameron might not have the meat hard automatically, if it's a mistake made, it could be a perfect time to reel him back in. 12 laps to go. John Meeks, 8th, looking to claim those Rookie of the Day honors. It's going to be between he and Ashton Miller. Miller running 11th, and he is in this gaggle as well. Take a ride aboard with the number 79 and see what happens. Eleven laps to go. Alexander Balderas now battling among two rookies. Miller on his high side, and then you'll have John Meeks right ahead. Ooh, a little bit of a bobble there. Once, twice for Miller. It could be contact again with Balderas. 3 wide. 11 laps to go. Vinny Tigner still right there. All the while, James Thurston is getting pressured. Cameron Chandler. Cameron remains with Thurston here. And it looks like now he's got enough to lunge. Thurston falls out of the second spot with the catbird seat no longer being his. He's fallen to the dirty air. Chandler again goes at who has been his primary rival over his SNT career. Single digits up next. The final stretch on its way, over 180 miles. We have seen many a driver take the lead. Now it is Kuntz in control, and he is stretching it out. 7/10 back to Aiden Donahue. Just needs to hold out and get away from trouble. Down low, Chandler and Thurston. No dice yet for the 96. Been able to get away, get ahead a few times, but it doesn't mean it's a full breakout. Alexander Balderas now low again, with no Marrow to his outside. This is for 8th. Dino now just ahead of Vinny Tigner. 79 of Ashton Miller watches, and there still has yet to be an opportunity. Let's see what happens now. Ashton Miller, 31st to 11th, still gaining 20 on the day. John Meeks up 8th, running in 7th. Both have had great races. Both of their very first starts. Advantage for that Rookie of the Day to kick off the season, John Meeks. And usually that's a great indicator of success. Start up your career just like this. Pull with performance and go from there. Ashton Miller is keeping that back end very full for Gino Marrow. Nevertheless, Kuntz leads by 0.8 with 7 to go. It's going to be Aiden Donahue and James Thurston alongside each other. Now is Cameron Chandler in the 96. Cameron drops to the bottom and takes it where he needs it. Cameron fighting to the inside again. He and Matthew White are trying to take it from at least James Thurston, but I think their goal is Donahue and Thurston alike. James has been pretty solid on the defensive end, and there still hasn't been a real push to this point. Ashton Miller now to the inside on Gino Marrow. 6 laps to go. all the way up to the top of the track. That let Alexander Balderas get by and clear for 9th. Jay Schaefer right now running 12th, and it looks like it'll come to an end, the streak of winning consecutive starts. Schaefer winning 2 for 2 this year, and it looks like even some of the best in the business, they falter. Jordan Kuntz, 5 laps remaining. Aiden Donahue, James Thurston, Cameron Chandler, Matthew White, and Connor Aswell, all in consecutive order, remain chasing. Matthew White might just have the best chance at making a pass. Inside again on Cameron Chandler. Five laps to go. Donahue and Thurston. Now it looks like the 96 of Thurston is just pulled again into second place. Single file up front. Closest battle is still for that 10th, 11th bundle. John Meeks is pulled away firmly for 7th. That leaves the rookie in Ashton Miller for his 21st spot. That's his final goal, it appears, and he still has a real chance at taking it. Arrow up high, Miller down low. 10th place, the goal for both. The High Rock Vodka Chevrolet in its very first appearance. Now, Miller was set to go full-time in the Summer Series, did make one appearance and gave us that brief cameo, but tonight has been, I would say, demonstrably more impressive for Miller, and that's a great thing to see. At the top level of SNT competition, Ashton has given us a great run, and is even now keeping Shane at bay. Matthew White, still there. Cameron Chandler looking to take back 3rd place. 3 laps to go. There is one final chance for the number 8. Take a look at driver telemetry. Three remaining. Now, make it only 2. Cameron Chandler dives deep, skates through. Aiden Donahue moved out of the podium, but it's a crossover attempt, and it will be made. Donahue gets to the inside again. Down the back straightaway, it's all evened up, and Aiden gets the run to take it to 3rd. A lap and a half remaining. Cameron Chandler goes for the 3rd overtaking attempt. Here we go. 1 lap remaining. The battle for 3rd is now a 3-way run. Jordan Kuntz sees the white flag. Last time Kuntz won a season opener, it was at Daytona, and it was a barn burner of a finish. Tonight, however, he's had to overcome the adversity of strategy and make his way up one step at a time. With the perfect calls and the right track position, Jordan Kuntz, he has the playbook written right out. If there's anyone who can work tires well in this field, it's the 99, and he has proven it once again. The 2-time champion has come back with one goal to end this season and end this year: win that 3rd title. The first round and the first step to completing the hat trick comes to a close tonight. After 100 laps, Jordan Kuntz is back on the throne. He'll win the first race of the 2025 B season, and the 99 is back. Leading 19 of 101. The final stretch was all his, and Jordan makes the most of it, coming ahead of Thurston, and a career best finish for Aiden Donahue. What a night for Jordan Kuntz. He was given that situation, not an easy situation for any driver, but one he is so well versed in. This particular challenge, right up his alley. Taken to the start-finish line, reporting on his tire wear, 62%, and presumably that's on the left side, which has given drivers such trouble today. Right there, standing at the start-finish line, Barney the flagman. Taking a moment, giving number 99 car a pause. What a win for Jordan Kuntz. Proves again, even if he didn't race in the playoffs last season, he has not missed a beat. 99 team wins the Fountain Valley 200 over James Thurston in second, Aiden Donahue in third, and Cameron Chandler P4. Matthew White goes fifth with Connor Asbell sixth, John Meeks, rookie of the day, in seventh and eighth. Then you'll see the man, Vinny Tigner. Tigner finds himself right ahead of Alexander Balderas. Balderas ninth. Arrow is 11th with Ashton Miller 12th, 13th. Both the Millers, to my understanding, no relation between them. They both end up finishing very close to each other. Then you'll have 14th in Tyler Sevier, Kenneth Gurrell in 15th, Cole Wilson 16th, Asher Bunkley in 17th, Layson Furness 18th, and Jacob Clarino 19th. 20th place, Mike Hill. 21st, Wesley Carter. Matthew Fastnaut, 22nd. Michael Deitch, 23rd. Asa Beers, 24th, with Richard Cherry, Payson Lindsay, CJ Erdman, Bryce Benton, and Greg Holes. Finishing up the top 30. Final two drivers on the day, Curtis Stanford and Jamie McKinney. Now, it looks like it's still Jordan Kuntz waiting this one out at the start-finish line. What a win for the 99 team. There's no one else who is so consistently strong. Back against the wall, equipment maybe not in the perfect place, he finds a way every time. Jordan Kuntz delivers again and wins from Fontana. Let's get a word from your winning man and go down the lineup. 1, 2, 3. First, of course, you gotta talk to Jordan Kuntz, your race winner. We'll hear from him right about now. He started tonight in 6th place, fell early to as low as 21st, spent the majority of the mid-race in the mid-teens, climbing up. And the final 20 laps, Jordan, you took charge, took the lead, and you took yourself back to the top. You have not missed a beat, and it shows. The drive for the hat trick begins with a win like this tonight.
Yeah, that was one of the most satisfying wins I've had in a long time. Very hard with strategy. Kind of missed the strategy on lap 11 whenever I pitted for tires, and everyone else stayed out. And I definitely got lucky with pitting whenever I did under the lap 71 caution, taking 4 tires there. So I had a bit of a lucky race, but definitely a really hard drive. On the first time on lap 11, whenever I pitted that next restart, I got damaged, 21 seconds of damage. Really slowed me down, short run for from lap 11 to lap 70. And I just don't believe the luck and the drive I was able to put in to get this result. It's not something I would have ever thought on lap 40 whenever I'm like 18th place. It's slower than a lot of people because I had unknown damage at the time, and just slowly worked my way back up, keeping calm and knowing what I have to do, trying to salvage, not make a bad situation worse, and somehow it turned out into the best situation.
In those final moments, of course, the best of the best on the night, but you had to struggle for it, and you mentioned it. It was so different how it ended from how you got there. Now, you were down in the high 20s, low teens. What did it take for you just to keep on going despite that fact and making your way through?
Well, ever since I started iRacing, that's one thing I never do, and in any situation, I will never leave a league race early. Even if I'm wrecked out, I will always continue in the session and watch it from start to finish. And that's my attitude every single race. If I join a league race, I'm going to be there at the end, whether I'm still racing or not. So even though I was out of it strategy-wise in the low 20s, or high 20s, I should say, low teens, and I just always knew to keep on going. Anything's possible, and didn't expect this result, but it's amazing what's going to happen if you just persevere through the tougher situations.
Big difference maker at the very end, that final caution that recycled you up to the top of the field. Think otherwise, you would have had a shot at the win?
No, I think I wouldn't. I had Aiden on 1 second behind me after my pit stops, closing in on me at 3/10 every lap, and he was really close. I don't think I ever would have been able to hold on with the new tires of James Thurston if they would have caught me. So the caution was very lucky to put me back into the race, bunch of the field, and just let me run my race the best I can, and that's what I did.
Works out just fine, putting the bigger picture together and winning to start the season, chasing a third championship. Now, I'm sure that's the goal, Jordan, from here on out. What do you think you can do from here to just keep on making the right moves for what's next?
I think it's what I do every season. The seasons I won won the championships, and the seasons where I didn't, it just stay in it. And even if it's a bad race, try to salvage the most out of it, and just be consistent. Don't make any unnecessary mistakes, and at the end of the night, do the best I can.
Consistency is key. Jordan Kuntz always finding a way to get back to victory circle, and to begin a season like this, a great way to build that winning momentum. Any final comments you'd like to leave us with? The floor is yours, Jordan.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out everyone on JRS Racing and Premier Concrete Solutions for being able to put their logos on this car and being able to make it as fast as it is. Amazing what the admins can do also with this league, where it came from a few years ago to now. And the league is definitely the reason that I won this race tonight, for being able to put on such a good event, the admins for how they run it, and everyone at the end of the race for keeping it clean. And yeah, just like to shout out to myself for not even giving up whenever I was down and really far out of the race.
Wrong a fight as it was, it perhaps was most unexpected for you, Jordan, but you pulled it off, and the 99 team returns to the top spot. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Jordan Kuntz on his way, the 99 crew. What a way to win. And if there's any way to start that season looking for a third championship, there's no better than James Thurston once again, so close, and I think for him, he's going to feel that it was far too far. While qualifying and finishing second, maybe a left to be desired in the final moments of the night, James Thurston, 96 pole, passed away, and we'll make sure we got a copy with him one more time here. James, you got us?
Yes, sir.
Second on the night, started, finished there, and it looks like just the final stretch was the difference whether or not you'd find victory.
Yeah, it kind of felt like it was going to be mine, kind of no matter what there until we got the yellow when I was in the pits. And I don't know, I don't really know what the difference was there on that last run, but I couldn't fire off with the same pace that I had all night. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was the one lap that I had spent on the track under pacing to go around the pace car to catch back up to it or what, but like I just didn't fire off with the pace that I had earlier, and all the guys that had just pit under that caution, they seemed like they were doing better than I was. I got passed by two of them, and I only got back by one. Right there at the end, I think that the pace came back to me. I was quite a bit quicker than Kuntz was the last couple of laps, but I was just too far back to actually catch him. Just yeah. Yeah, thanks to Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsports. Just we wanted to win this, but second's not that bad.
Coming down to a lot of early yellow flags, short-term runs to begin this. Did you adapt your strategy based on any difference as the night progressed? You saw less cautions?
I don't know. I was banking on long runs. Just yeah. We had good short run pace. We had good long run pace. We had good everything pace. So really, the best that I've felt in a race in a while. So to come home and not win it is not really a good feeling. But we still finished strong.
Strong finish like this is the momentum needed now to start that chase for a championship. 4 points short last season, and I'm sure now that all eyes are on doing everything more right than you did last time around. I'll tell you this much. Could go anyone's way next week. We're going to Talladega, so really hard to prepare for a track like that.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll go in there and see what we can do. I don't know. Try to win it.
James Thurston, second place on the day here for Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsport. Any other final comments or shout-outs you'd like to send here?
Yeah, just again, thanks to Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsports. Shout out to Murphy Esports. Just yep. We'll see if we can finish one spot better here next time.
One position away and start the championship chase again. Thurston finds himself back in a familiar place, podium. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
James Thurston on the move, a career best finish for the number 82 team, and perhaps the most impressive run of all for the 82 of Aiden Donahue. Finally, the work pays off. We've seen several fast runs out of this team to start before, but everything is put together at the very end. Donahue, welcome to Podium Circle in SNT.
Thank you. It's nice to finally be here again. The only last time I was here was IRP last season, but it's just nice to run against really, really fast people, really clean people that race you nice, and if you're able to display your skill. Of course, we got some stuff to work on, but I'm happy with third.
And of course, getting that very first podium on the season, first opportunity. Great thing to see. Late run speed was very strong for this team. You were up in the top 10 conversation most of the day, but something clicked late. Anything in particular you changed?
I don't know if there's anything in particular I changed. I just know that it was, and this is a pun to my chat, but I just knew it was showtime. Just to go and take any run that you had, really. And I don't know, with like 5 laps ago, or it was like 9 laps ago, so I was like passing Thurston for second. And I was like, am I actually this fast right now? And then as soon as I got clear of him and tried to run down the 99, it just stalled out on me. I guess I just burned up my tires because we started 11th on that last restart with like 27 to go. I think I just burned up my stuff trying to pass everybody. But racing against James Thurston and Jordan Kuntz, it's a tall order to beat those two people. So they're just that good, and just to even consider that I was in the hunt, it makes me feel good.
If competition, and not only that, doing it in one of our longer races on the season and a track that's always competitive. Next week is more of a dice roll in Talladega, so there's really a great chance not only to back this up, but maybe even finish better.
If you know me, you know my track record on super speedways. If anything, I'm more or less terrified to run it because I'll always end up in a crash or something. But I like the tracks where you can kind of determine your own outcome. I'm sure that Thurston and all them, they have that stuff figured out, but I just don't. So if we run there, you'll just probably see me mid pack trying to avoid the crashes and be there at the end or something. But I look more forward to the tracks where there's off throttle time and you can run through the field like races like this one.
Third place on the day, back to the podium as early as it gets for the Aiden Donahue team. Final shout outs you'd like to send, the floor is yours.
Of course. Well, shout out to number one, shout out to my wife. We just got married a week ago, or like 2 weeks ago. Love her, and I'm gonna see her after this anyway. But also shout out to my Twitch channel. It's Showtime82. All those guys that watch me. Appreciate you guys for sticking around. And of course, on the list, shout out to you guys. I know you're the main commentator for this league, and this league is great. So hopefully, it's a very good season for the rest of the year.
Donahue wrapping up the podium for our first race of the season here in Auto Club. Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
One last driver who would like to get a word, the number 95 of Alexander Balderas, who comes in 9th on the day after starting 16th, so gaining 7 spots, a former race winner here on the IORA Cup Series circuit, and looks Gills back to Fontana for a top 10 performance.
Yeah, David, I thought that it was going to drive a little bit differently. I thought it was going to drive more like it did in IORA. I guess that's also time of day should have helped with that too. It was 2 seconds slower than IORA. It was a lot harder on the fronts, less grippy overall, and just a lot, more tight. I thought it would have been a little bit better, but honestly, quite happy with my performance considering I haven't been on the service as much. Pretty good debut and pretty good start to the season so far. What am I, 9th in points? It's pretty not bad for the start.
Now, you say you're 9th in points. Is the intention to run full time on the season?
We'll see if I'm free. My start at UH is just right around the corner, so we'll have to see if I can truly be ready to, do all the races. But if I'm free, I got nothing to do, and I'm ready for it. Yeah, sure.
So tonight, of course, even if it was a little bit different pace-wise, it looks like you still adapted well as the race went. Anything that was just about the same as it was when you ran in? Go.
Top is usually pretty always good, but the one thing that never really changes is being able to kind of rip the bottom and do a late arc. That always is pretty good. Usually is a go-to line if you don't really know what to do. And so it didn't fail me tonight. I was just kind of bad, really, and kind of burned up the right front. But I did save better than I thought I would. So, honestly, didn't do too bad myself. So, all things considered, pretty good race. I'm glad I got to race with everybody that I did. It was pretty good. And for broadcasting SMT a while back, it's actually good to participate in some of the races.
First of perhaps many races this season for the 95 team. Alexander Balderas, 9th on the day. Any final comments you'd like to say out? The floor is yours.
Good race by everybody, honestly. Thank you for Vinny for putting it on. As always, him and the admin team do a wonderful job. And if I get to race again, would love to come back. And what's next week?
Talladega.
Yeah, we'll be back next week.
Maybe a chance to roll the dice.
95 will be in victory lane next week. That's all I'm saying. Now I'm hyped. Now I really want to go back next week. I'm not saying anything, but 95 is probably going to victory lane next week. And if I'm ranked, then oh well.
See what happens now. You got a real reason to show back up. Alexander Balderas,
I do.
9th place. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, David. Thank you so much.
And with Balderas on the way, I think we know pretty clear now what track is up next on the table. 3rd place is Aiden Donahue matching his best finish and getting back to podium circle. James Thurston 2nd on the day after he qualified there, and Jordan Kuntz back on the throne. Not too much a surprise that he found his way there once again. Nevertheless, Talladega is up next, and the SuperSpeedway circuit in Alabama is unpredictable. And we said that's to be expected this year, and so it is. Race number 2 on the calendar is a SuperSpeedway, and it is our biggest. Until then, you've been enjoying coverage from Fontana, California, and the Auto Club Speedway for the opening race of the Saturday Night Thunder 2025 B season. I've been your host, David Kreutz, commentating and producing. So if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. Your support is always greatly appreciated. Congratulations to Jordan Kuntz on his first victory of the season. We hope to see you back tomorrow night for the Schumacher Racing League and next Saturday night with Talladega. Always an exciting track. It's going to be a thrill to watch. 8 p.m. Eastern, same time, same place on FTN Broadcasting. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you have a fantastic night.